It's 6:10 in the evening on a Friday, but we are here to check on the progress of land preparation which has been done here. As you can see in the background there, you can come closer and appreciate as it does its work. It's incorporating the stover, making sure that we get that residual incorporation coming in. So as they progress with their work, we are about to conclude for the day. But the importance of this operation is that we want to make sure that we have a fine tilt that will enable us to come in with planting over the weekend. So as you can see, this is the plain. We started from up there, up behind the trees there, close to that blue horizon. That's where we started. But you can come and see and appreciate, even as I walk, that the depth is there that we wanted to achieve. This is because we had received over 40 millimeters of water over the past 2 weeks. That's the amount of water we've received. And we expect to get more rains as we get into the 20s of November. So this is what we are seeing here. But come here and then we can talk about land preparation in terms of getting a fine tilt. So when we talk about the fine tilt, this is what we mean. We need to make sure that we are getting the soil, good seed to soil contact. So the good seed to soil contact starts by having a fine tilt with your land preparation. And land preparation should be guided by the resource endowment. So here we are seeing that we are using a plow because it's the one which was more efficient and effective. We tried to come in with a reaper, but it was leaving the area in between the ribbed row. It was remaining behind, needing to have a lot of work come in with a disc, with cross disking. So we opted for this option because the important thing in farming is to make sure that the resource endowment that you're using, the input cost is managed, and you're also getting a higher return. So we are actually planting SC727, the blockbuster late maturity hybrid from SeedCo, which requires a longer time to grow in the field. You're looking at between 150 to 160 days, guided of course by the heat units, the altitude, and as well the resource endowment. So to the farmers who are looking at starting the planting window for the 2025-26 season, it's important for you to know your resource endowment, to know your agroecological region, and match that with the crop in question. If you are planting early in the season in a high rainfall area, you can start with the late maturity and medium maturity varieties. But as the season progresses, you can then go for the early, very early and ultra early maturing varieties. But then if you also want to spread risk, you can do same-day planting, but of different varieties as well. This will also spread the risk. So it's very, very important. So this fine tilt will make a difference between good germination and poor germination, coupled with poor emergence. So it's very, very important for you to get the basics right in your land preparation. But nonetheless, some farmers will use conservation farming, which is a good tool because it also conserves the environment. But then when you're using conservation, make sure that you understand the nitty-gritties. Sometimes when you're coming in with no-till planting, where there is vegetation, where there is a bit of forage, it might then mean you might need to come in with a bit of nitrogen to encourage further breakdown. And then one thing we also want to talk about is the fact that when you use glyphosate, you need to understand what it requires. Some people will come in and apply glyphosate on a plain which is brown with no actively growing weeds. This is the wrong use of the product. You need to apply on actively growing weeds. As you can see, if these ones are active and you are seeing the stumps in the field, you can come in with spot spraying so that you get the efficiency in terms of managing for weeds in the field. So it's very, very important. So it's very important is whenever you're doing an operation to understand the do's and don'ts. Otherwise, you risk incurring a cost which is not justified. And in farming, every cost matters because the more you manage your costs, the more chances you are of getting a profitable season. Maybe let me just jump onto the tractor as they finish off. So let me go on now.